So in this video, I'm going to show you how to create this sliding animation effect so it seems like one continuous animated presentation rather than a traditional diagram where you may have everything on one slide and then one section appears after another. Not only will this be more engaging for your audience, but it also gives this impression that you spent a lot of time on this when it's actually a very simple effect to create. Hope you found this video helpful. If so, please like and subscribe, and let's get started. So here I'm in PowerPoint. I'm using Office 365, so this should be the latest version of PowerPoint. I don't have any special add-ons or anything like that, so you should be able to look at the same thing I'm looking at. So for this example, I've already got my slides added. I have a total of 8, which includes the title slide, and then I'll include animation on the remaining slides. So if I scroll through here, you can see I already have the content and the images added to each slide. So I'm just going to show you how to create the transitions with the arrows and then how to make it go back and forth. So you can see I already have an arrow here added, and the only reason I did that was because I wanted to match the example that it provided at the beginning of the video. But in order to add your own arrows, you can just go to Insert, Shape, and you can see I have arrow options here. So third from the right, if I click on that, I can just drag that out. Now to match my current arrow, I would just go to my Shape Fill, select that. So I don't have an outline on mine, so I can go to Shape Outline and choose No Outline. So I'm going to click on that arrow and delete it. So here's my original arrow. And what I want this to do is slide as if it looks like the artwork is moving to the left and the arrow is traveling with you to the next slide. So first thing I'm going to do is click this left arrow to select it, and I'll hit Control-C to copy it. You can also right-click and hit Copy. I'm going to go to slide 3. And I'm going to hit Control-V to paste it. You can also hit right-click, paste. Now, when I pasted it, it is in the same location as the original arrow. And that's what I want, because I want it to be exactly in the same space. So when it slides across, there's no break or anything's unusual. But I need it to the left of the slide. So with it selected, and again, you can just left-click. I'm going to hold Shift, left-click, and drag it to the left so I can move that over. So now it's in the same position as the arrow on the previous slide. In order to create the transition, I want to click on slide 3. I want to go to Transitions, and I want to select Push. You can see what that did. That made it look like it was sliding up. But I want to slide to the right. In order to do that, I'm going to click on slide 3 again. I'm going to go to Effect Options here. And again, you can see to the left, Push is selected. And I want to select Slide from Right. Now you can see how that looks. So again, if I want to go to Slideshow, Beginning, click on this, left click, and you can see we have that transition. So it's actually a pretty simple effect to create. So if you want to add all this quickly, I can click on slide 4 and click on slide 5 while holding Shift. And then I can select both of those. You can see they're both highlighted. And go to Transitions, Push, and then From Right. So now that transition has been added to both. And I didn't add it to 6 and 7 because I want those to go back the opposite direction. So now to quickly add the arrows in the same spot, I want to left click on the arrow on 3, hit Control-C to copy it. I want to go to slide 4, hit Control-V, slide 5, hit Control-V. Get the other arrow, I'm going to slide 2, left click on this to highlight it, hit Control-C to copy it. I'm going to go to 3, hit Control-V. Now I'm not going to add that to slide 5 because the movement stops there and goes back the other direction. But I'm going to left click on this arrow on slide 5 and hit Control-C. I'm going to go to slide 6 and hit Control-V. And now that's in the same position. But I'm going to click on this rotation icon here and drag it around until it's in the same position but facing the opposite direction. So currently, if I look at the transitions for slide 6, I don't have one. So what I want to happen here is I want to fade from slide 5 into slide 6. So the words fade and the arrow fades. So it's switching around. So I'm going to click slide 6 to highlight it. I'm going to split and select that. So slide 5 will slowly disappear and slide 6 will appear in its place. So now if I go to slide 1, hit slideshow beginning, I can click through this. You can see what that looks like. And that's the transition. Obviously, I'm missing an arrow from slide 4, so let me left click on the arrow on slide 3, hit Control-C to copy, Control-V to paste it, and everything should be correct. Now I need arrows on 7 and 8, So I'm going to click on slide 6, left click that arrow, hit Control C, go to slide 7, hit Control V. I'm going to left click it to select it, hold Shift and drag it back. And then I'm going to click to deselect it, and I'll hit Control V again, and that adds it back in the same spot. I'm going to pull it over to the left a little bit. Now I'm going to select the arrow to the right, hit Control C, go to slide 8, hit Control V, and that places that one. So they all should be lined up now. I'm going to go back to the beginning, hit slideshow from beginning and click through this. And from here, it's going to fade this one in and fade out to the next one. So I'm going to hit escape to come out of that. If I select slide 6 and go to transitions, you can see splits on that one. But I'm going to go to 7 and hit push. But this time, instead of from right, I'm going to hit from left, and you can see how that slides over. And then I'm going to do the same thing for slide 8. So push, slide left. So now everything should be correct. Again, I'm going to go through this really quickly from beginning. Fade out, fade in, then back. And that's the end. I want to mention one thing when you've got the transition as push. You can go over here to where it says duration, and you can change how quickly that transition happens. Currently mine's at 1, but you could increase or decrease that. So this is just a simple example of how you can create an animated workflow without relying on a simple single slide workflow where you animate objects in, but it's all within the same slide and looks like a standard diagram. This will create a little more visual interest and keep your audience more engaged. Hope you found this video helpful. If so, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. In this presentation, I'll walk you through how your prescription gets from your doctor's office to your pharmacy, which involves several key systems working together behind the scenes. When your primary care provider prescribes medication, they ask which pharmacy you'd like to use to fill it. They then enter the pharmacy and prescription information into their electronic health record system. Your electronic prescription is then securely routed by an e-prescribing network that connects healthcare providers to pharmacies nationwide. Your chosen pharmacy receives the prescription directly into their pharmacy management system. Before filling it, the pharmacist checks with your health plan's Pharmacy Benefit Manager, or PBM, to determine if the medication is covered by your insurance plan. The PBM reviews the request and informs your pharmacy if the medication is approved or denied. If approved, the PBM will also provide the pharmacy with your cost information. If you agree to the cost, the pharmacist fills your prescription and notifies you when it's ready for pickup.